Let's not wait for that to finish. Welcome back to another episode, my lords, ladies, and gentlemen. My second camera has literally just this second died, so you're stuck with this for the whole time. So get used to it. It's going to be this one single shot, and that's all it's going to be. So here we are, looking at an opinion, really, because it's all conjecture. It's all impression. It's all interpretation. What would Sherlock Holmes? What would he have thought of the internet? What would he have thought specifically of social media in mind? And it's taking a few of the ideas, a few of the scientific principles that it connects to, and a few quotes to try and back it up. But above all else, this is a bit of fun. And more importantly, just an opinion, right? Doesn't mean I'm right, doesn't mean I'm wrong. It's just an idea across the whole thing. But to that end, stick around towards the end and I'll tell you about the next enrollment of our RLS program that starts again very soon. You're going to be seeing the adverts going out for that as of next week. And if you're in the community, you will have heard of it already. So if you're not, make sure you do that now with the link in the description box below, where that is found tomorrow when it goes out. Now, Sherlock Holmes would likely view social media as a public health crisis of the mind. To him, the modern internet, I mean, it would be a necessary evil in certain features for him, facilitating him doing his job. But specifically for social media, to him, it would represent this industrial scale destruction of critical thinking. He would not see it as a community or a town square, but as a machine designed to clutter the human brain with useless lumber. A lot of you guys in the comments already agreeing. Yeah. It's this that was on the initial thumbnail. It's the idea of the brain attic versus the feed, in that the human brain has limited storage, right? It's massive, but it's limited. And if you want to think of it more as temporary storage, then the working memory, that's even more limited. Social media floods it with useless lumber, crowding out all of the useful knowledge that one needs to take a stand to practice to get at in the first place. The quote being, I consider that a man's brain originally is like a little empty attic, and you have to stock it with such furniture as you choose. A fool takes in all the lumber of every sort that he comes across, so that the knowledge which might be useful to him gets crowded out. Study in Scotland. One needs only step into social media for seconds at a time. He might argue that every TikTok dance and celebrity tweet you memorize is displacing a useful fact like a geography or chemistry or your partner's birthday. We are almost hoarding junk data and carrying it around with us all day. The cognitive load that's involved, I mean, it connects to the cognitive load theory, of course, but our working memory is finite. When it's overloaded with extraneous information, the feed, we lose this ability to transfer information to long-term memory, as in the attic. Right? So it is the specific decision of what it is that you want to fill your attic with. And the micro-learning stuff attempted to deal with this, but it was the replacement of doom scrolling with doom scrolling. Granted, more purposeful and intentional, but it doesn't address this motivational desire to just drink dopamine the whole time. And in terms of this being an echo chamber, I did a post on this a while back about the death of reason. The death of logic comes along with it. We, as a species, are no longer looking for the truth. We are seeking confirmation. And algorithms serve us comfort. They don't serve us facts. They're designed to support whatever idea you spend the most time on, so you spend more time on their service. It is a capital mistake to theorize before one has data. Insensibly, one begins to twist facts to suit theories instead of theories to suit facts. A scandal in Bohemia, I believe. An algorithm is a machine designed to twist facts to suit the theories. If you interact with the conspiracy theories, the data you receive will change to support that theory. It makes impartial deduction much more of a challenge unless you're already predisposed to it. It is almost weaponizing confirmation bias. I know that kind of teeters on hyperbole a little, but it does. Right? The tendency to search for, interpret, favor, and recall information in a way that confirms or supports one's previously held beliefs. I think I was trying to say previous and prior at the same time. one's previously held beliefs or values. Right? It is difficult, almost uncomfortable, to genuinely, sincerely entertain, oh, I might be wrong. And this constant bombardment never really offers you space to be able to do that. You could look at it from a point of living in a world of goldfish, but mainly the goldfish effect in terms of the attention span, its effect on our ability to observe. Observation requires stillness and time. Scrolling trains the brain to process visually without analyzing depth, constantly consuming, but never really thinking. Read The Shallows. It's a good book on this. Nicholas Carr, I believe, is the name. But when you think about how this type of speed is prioritized, if you can deliver a story in 30 seconds, it must be better. Why? Why? Why must it be better? Does that make films terrible then? Because they are stories delivered over 90 minutes to 2 hours? Does that make TV series awful because they're delivered over like 13 to 24 hours if you stack up all the episodes back to back? This is what social media is constantly training us to be able to do. It is the very definition of the antithesis of you see but you do not observe. The distinction is clear. We see thousands of images a day, but we engage with them for less than a second at times. We are training ourselves to be passive spectators, almost, rather than active analysts. It connects to something called the switch cost effect. Constantly switching attention, scrolling, texting, emailing, background noise, this device goes off, this alarm goes off, this constant switching of attention, it reduces efficiency and mental depth. It prevents anything close to deep work or deep attention. And if you know anything about your critical thinking, the benefits of depth and breadth are vast, pun accidental. it's one of the 9 standards of thought There is a difference. Like if a topic is broad, do you really want to spend a second just dancing around the surface on everything? Or do you want to spend the time to really explore each and every thing within it to really get a grip on what it is that you're seeing and inhabit it? Social media doesn't contribute to that idea and rewards you for not doing that. You look at the information yield. Noise, Watson. Infinite noise. He never said that. The concept that we're looking at is more information doesn't equal more truth. The signal to noise ratio on the internet is, what's a dramatic word? It is catastrophic. But it is, right? It is. If you Google any objectively nonsensical belief structure, whatever it is, you know, the Richard Dawkins talks about the great juju up the mountain. If you Google the great juju up the mountain, you'll probably find thousands of pages, and therefore, oh my God, thousands of pages dedicated to this. They must be onto something. Numbers doesn't equal truth. Data, data, data. I cannot make bricks without clay. From The Adventure of the Copper Beeches. Holmes would correct this today. And that we have too much clay. But it is all wet mud. We're drowning in content of opinions and reaction videos, but starving for data. As in the verifiable facts, right? We've developed this need for a fact checker because we're drowning in that much noise that a fact checker becomes objective. And this idea that AI is this universal truth that is just existing, collecting data, and it's outside of the realms of bias and interference. Well, Elon, the idiot Musk, has put that to waste completely. With fully showing the colours through the downfall of Grok. I saw a post today from a comedian that I like, Jonathan Pie, but he'd asked Grok on Twitter who would win in a fight, Mike Tyson or Elon Musk. And now, as I'm saying this, the image could be AI, but I'm going to back it up anyway. But this was the joke. Who would win in a fight, Elon Musk or Mike Tyson? And Grok went through the objective facts in order to state that Elon Musk would win the fight. But the reason I thought this was funny is because it was reflective of his rant about Grok being very left-leaning, so he fixed it, and then it started talking about Hitler being awesome, right? If you are constantly consuming information, there is no room to process it. If you learn anything, you need the room to use it. You think about a state where the quantity of information is so high that it reduces the quality of the decision-making process. How about this one? The armchair detective. There is an epidemic, right? There is an epidemic, as it's distinctly connected to the Dunning-Kruger effect. Social media gives people the illusion of competence, as in everyone thinks they're an expert because they read a headline, right? Or everyone thinks they're an expert because they've got 100 bajillion followers. Like that equates to anything. It's it's nonsensical to think about. Here's a good Holmes quote for you from the Valley of Fear. Mediocrity knows nothing higher than itself, but talent instantly recognizes genius. This phrase, I mean, it's certainly popular in the UK. I don't know how far afield it travels. The idea might, but I don't know how far afield the phrase travels. In that, if it's on Facebook, it must be true. It's nonsensical. Holmes would despise the Twitter sleuths who ruin lives by misidentifying suspects during breaking news events. He would view the democratization of expertise as the rise of confident mediocrity. The Dunning-Kruger effect, if you didn't know, is a cognitive bias where people with low ability at a task very often overestimate their ability. They lack the knowledge to know that they are wrong. I like if you've ever listened to John Cleese talk about stupid people, like you have to be kind of smart to know how stupid you are. And it's funny because it's true about the loss of boredom. The interaction in the default mode network, the Shutterstock Unite. Holmes Holmes had an what's a good word? A tempestuous and explosive relationship with stagnation or boredom to stimulate his mind, or he turns to drugs. Not that that's better than social media, but this is what it is. Social media eliminates boredom, thereby eliminating creativity. Right? The idea being that happiness can't exist without sadness because there's nothing to measure happiness against otherwise. My mind rebels at stagnation. Give me problems, give me work, give me the most abstruse cryptogram, the most intricate analysis, and I am in my proper atmosphere, and I can dispense with artificial stimulants. The sign of 4. So, I mean, I think it's fair to say while Holmes hated stagnation, he used it to drive him towards work. The modern day human being uses a phone or a tablet or a headset or some kind of AI service to sedate the rebellion. Right? We never let our minds wander. We just scroll. We have almost killed the daydream, which is more often than not where the best deductions come from. Your default mode network is a network in your brain that becomes active when you are not focused on the outside world. It's crucial for creativity and future planning. Constant phone usage, suppresses it because it can't engage. How about this one that keeps popping up with the reliance on AI and its creations? Visual evidence is no longer trustworthy, or seeing is believing. It's a dangerous mindset in the age of AI. Dangerous. And I can only speak for myself when I say that I have yet to see a human created, in whether it be a picture or a video or some kind of thing in between, where it has not been abundantly clear that it is AI. Boscombe Valley mystery. There is nothing more deceptive than an obvious fact. So a video of a person saying something used to be proof. Now with deep fakes and AI that's accessible through any app, the most obvious evidence is very often a fabrication. Holmes would trust dust and ash more than a video recording in this world. It's like a reality apathy, almost. The consequence of being inundated with fake news, fake media, fake videos. Oh, nice. Samuel's been in on it as well. I just wrote something yesterday for school about AI visuals. Nice. How did that go? But in that world of reality apathy, people stop trying to distinguish truth from lies and just become indifferent to the concept of truth altogether. Because the ideas, opinions, thoughts that exist in here, they're easy to create some kind of verifiable thing to it. It's the erasing of the little things, this homogenization of clues. Holmes solves crimes by noticing eccentricities and quirks. Social media pressures everyone to look and act the same by doing trends. My daughter only told me this morning, because we were listening to Radio X, and Chris Moyles and everyone were talking about the latest social media trend, and everyone started talking about things they've stuffed up their bum. I was like, that's a trend? That what? And then she was like, that's not the worst of it. A while back, there was a social media trend around trying to hang yourself a little bit with your dressing gown, your house coat, or whatever you call it in your house. This is mind blowing. It's long been an axiom of mine that the little things are infinitely the most important. Well, that's a case of identity from Sherlock Holmes, but in influencer culture, there is a creation of an almost standardized personality. Everyone uses the same filters, the same slang, the same decor. When everyone mimics the ideal or the little things that make us unique, everything disappears. It's like a social contagion, almost spread of behaviors, emotions, and ideas through a group. Social media accelerates this, leading to mass conformism and some rather moronic points of view gaining numbers, let's call them. How about emotional reasoning and cold logic? Social media runs on emotion. Holmes runs on cold logic. The two are incompatible. I mean, here we go. I was just imagining Sherlock opening it like a Twitch stream, going, "Hey guys," and doing something like that. Detection is, or ought to be, an exact science and should be treated in the same cold and unemotional manner. You have attempted to tinge it with romanticism. This is when he's talking to Watson about the written works. Social media platforms are romance engines. They amplify how we feel about a story rather than the facts of the story. Holmes would view the like button as a contamination of the scientific process. If you look at things like the affective heuristic, it's mental shortcuts where people make decisions that are heavily influenced by their current emotions. This is this idea amplified en masse. Oh, nice. Nice. I realize if you're just listening to that, that didn't make sense. Um, that's Samuel commenting about the action of his or her AI work on visuals. The professor really liked the points. Actually, the whole stream is very close to a lot of the broad points that you covered. Nice. Good work. Finally, never seen a more wretched hive of scum and villainy than Twitter. As it relates to the speed of judgment, Holmes never guesses. He gathers all the evidence first. Social media demands an immediate opinion before the facts are out. I never guess. It's a shocking habit and destructive to the logical faculty. I think there was a similar quote in the Solitary Cyclist as well. Oh, I never guess. I've got images of Jeremy Brett doing that in my head, but I don't know that for sure off the top of my head. This hot take culture demands you have an opinion now. If you wait for facts, you're late. Holmes would view this haste as the primary reason for modern injustice. Like an availability cascade, a self-reinforcing process of a collective belief, like a chain reaction almost, where a simple idea gains plausibility just because it's repeated rapidly in the public discourse, going viral or gaining lots of comments or whatever it is in this situation. Just because it has a lot of interaction doesn't equate to anything. The facts are the most important part of that. Now, why am I using Holmes as a metaphor, a vehicle for the communication of some kind of imagined hatred that he would have of this vehicle? It's because there is real effects to our ability to think and feel and remember things as a result of this bombardment constantly, day in, day out. And I'm mentioning these simply to give you hooks with which to hang your cognitive hat on, so that awareness brings attention and cognition along with it. So to make you aware of these possibilities, my hope is, it might be a vain hope, but it's a hope all the same. My hope is that you can make better decisions for how you use your brain moving forwards, that are going to support you and contribute to your life in a meaningful way. So with that in mind, I shall love you and leave you, and I will see you all next week for another one. 2 weeks, excuse me. There's a typo. We're every 2 weeks. Been a long day. Bye, guys.